Hi guys, it's Michelle Williams with Michelle Williams Real Estate, a girl, her burners, and real estate. And I'm coming to you today because I keep getting the same question. Everybody wants to know if this is a good time to buy or not. And so this is what I believe, and I'll just I'm kind of waiting to see if anybody joins us. But the CPI came in the other day, so it came in yesterday morning. The CPI came down, which is the Consumer Price Index, and what that says is how is inflation doing? And so, for the first time, we've had a couple of months now where the CPI has come down, not quite as much. Hi, not quite as much as the Fed was hoping, but it is still coming down. The interesting thing is we're still doing rate hikes for mortgages, but rates are coming down. And so I'm kind of wanted to go over what what we're looking at. So even though that the Fed has raised rates across the board, the last one was a 0.50 rate increase. Last week for FHA loans, the rate was 6.12%. This week, even with the Fed raising the rate 50 basis points, so 0.50 of a percent, half a percent, the rate actually came down to 5.75. So rates went up for the feds, but mortgages came down 0.375. So it's an interesting conundrum. Like we're seeing rates go up. However, if you're wanting to buy a mortgage, we are down. A few months ago, we were almost at 7%, and we are at 5.75. So we are getting into better rates. Um, Conventional last week was 6.75, and conventional came down a half a percent, and they're at 6.25. That's a great question. Thanks so much. So the question is so if this is a good time to buy. For those of you who were looking last year it was like a mad dash to get to the listing as soon as it came out. There would be 20 showings and 15 offers, and people were offering crazy amounts of money to just, it wasn't that you're buying a house, you were winning a house. And you were literally going to be paying 50,000, 60,000. Some people actually offered $100,000 more just to get a house. Those people, um, at the time, that they were just so excited to be able to get a home because we still have an inventory shortage. Um, and so, right now is actually a great time to buy. The market has cooled off some. So, you may not be in a bidding war on a home, although I just had a home that had a bidding war. And yes, we're January of 2023 and rates are still high. And I just had a bidding war. And so, it the housing market is still going to be tight. They want the prices to come down. They want to be able to help everybody. We have an inventory shortage. We don't have enough homes for all of the people that are getting married and having babies. And right now, people are not selling. I was going to sell my own home and take some of my equity out of my home and just buy something smaller. I'm now an empty nester. Um, but I have a 2.37% rate on my home. And so if I was to sell it now, I would be getting a 5.5%. So a lot of people are not selling right now. But what that says is those homes that are out there, and some of them are sitting a little bit. So maybe we're seeing 15 to 25 days in Westcliff. One of the things that we look at is you can get the house at a good price and you can refinance when this Fed pivots, and they will pivot. They will overcorrect and they will have to lower rates. Um, should we still buy down rates? It really depends. So you can do what's called a buy down on the rate, which there's a 3-2-1, which means you're going to buy it down for 3 years. Each year the rate continues to get higher until it gets to what the rate would have been today. So let's just say if you decided to buy it down for 2 years and you were going to say $12,000, only the seller can offer that concession to you. The seller can buy your rate down to help lower the rate for a couple of years until maybe we can refinance. I always question people say, um, marry the house and date the rate. Well, that's great as long as you don't lose your job. You don't go out as soon as you buy the house and buy a new car. So you still have to be savvy with your money. This doesn't mean that you just go out, you get the house, and then you get all your credit cards and you put everything into debt. Because when the Fed does pivot, you need to be able to refinance. So your debt to income ratio is still going to come into play, and so you really want to be careful with how much you're spending. You still have some options that you're going to have to look at in a year or two. Um, some people think that the Fed won't pivot for 2 years. I think the Fed will pivot at late summer this year or early winter. Um, the housing market in general. So we talk about mortgages, we talk about um, real estate agents, lenders, appraisers, inspectors. It's a huge sector of our income in this country. You have title companies, you have surveyors, all of those people are inside one sale. And so if we are too slow, if the real estate industry in general is too slow, there will be a lot of people that will go out of work, and the Fed doesn't want that either. They're trying for a soft landing, if you've ever heard that phrase. And so basically, they want to lower inflation. They want to slow the market. They don't want to kill it. But for those people who keep asking me if this is a good time to buy, it's a great time to buy. Um, Housing is down. You are not competing with 20 other crazy people trying to buy the same house because they're just desperate. So you can really get a beautiful home. Um, the rates are a little bit higher. And case in point, I have two children who bought last year. My son bought his house at 3.25%, and my daughter bought at 5.25%. Housing prices were pretty similar, same about square footage. She paid about $80,000 more for her house than he did for his just because of the timing. His house payment's like $1,500 a month, and hers is a lot more. So she's waiting to be able to refinance. And basically, let's just say that I just helped a new couple buy a home in Pueblo, and their mortgage was, we'll say 1,600, and we did calculations. If in a year they can refinance that at 3.5% or something, um, they're going to go from like a $1,600 a month payment to a $1,200 a month payment, basically giving themselves a raise. And then as the economy and rents and home prices continue to go up, their mortgage is going to stay the same, and they will continue to have earned a raise because while everybody else is going to be paying more for their home, they're going to get have the same mortgage payment. Um, the feds the feds are still raising rates, so maybe that should wait. What should wait? No, I don't think waiting, because mortgage rates can go down in the morning and up in the afternoon. So getting under contract is the only way that you're able to lock in a rate. Once you're under contract, if we can get a better rate, then you're going to get that rate. If we're not under contract, you don't stand a chance. So let's just say today the rate is at 5.75 and you're under contract, and tomorrow it hits 6%. You've already locked in 5.75, so it doesn't matter what the Fed does. You have the rate that you've locked in for. Um, so I just wanted to kind of give a quick market update, and then just if anybody has any questions, I don't do a lot of videos, so it's not always my favorite thing. But if you have a question, if I get more than two questions at the same question, I'll do another video. Um, And the question came in that, can we refinance when the rates go down? Absolutely. I say that with the caveat that your debt to income still needs to be in alignment and you shouldn't take on more debt than you need. Um, as I tell everybody, when you go under contract, don't change your job, don't quit your job, don't buy a new car, don't buy furniture, don't do anything with your credit until you've bought your house. Well, if you're buying your house at today it's 5.75 and you plan to refinance in a year, really don't spend any money you don't need to be spending. Don't go buy a new car. Fix the one you have after you refinance and you get that nice rate. Now get a new car. So, practice a little bit of patience, and we're all going to get through this. Thank you so much. Thanks, Cece, for joining my little chat here. If you guys have any questions, you can always reach me, Michelle at michelle-williams.com. And I look forward to speaking with you. Bye.